Level 80, away with the ferry. Yalfort has arrived in Mordsug bearing pertinent information. Ah, there you are. I'm part of the team helping with the highly classified and very, very secret thing. Yeah, I'm peeking a little bit. Let's turn this down. The fact of the matter is, I've come to inform you of a rather interesting development. It's about the girl who was brought back from the empty. She's finally woken up, you see. Be good enough. Yalfort and Zilly, too. We heard the news from Thancred, is it true? Why, yes, it most certainly is. Apparently her name is Gaia. She claims to be a free citizen of Yulmore, although she remembers nothing of the events leading up to her attack on Eden. She's lost her memory. We beat it out of her. Parts of it, at the very least. We also cannot be sure whether she's telling the truth or if it's merely a ruse. She's yet to display any hostility, which is encouraging, I suppose. And Thancred's with her now, is he? Yes, he's taken her to Yulmore, mainly to verify what she's told us so far, quiz the locals, that sort of thing. After that, the plan is to come back here, though they're taking rather longer than I'd anticipated. I do hope nothing is amiss. Good grief, are you always this slow? At this rate, it'll be dark again before we know it. The night sky returning is all well and good, but it does make each day seem awfully short. And are you still dragging your heels back there? At least act as if you've got a purpose, would you? Now look here, I'm not one of your servants. Why don't you try carrying your own luggage for a change? Thancred, you're back. You lot are a sight for sore eyes. Yes, even you, Urianger. Guy and I have just finished shipping her personal effects from Yulmore. I'm glad we could finally meet properly, I mean. So, did you learn anything useful? Other than where she lives, not an awful lot. Her supposed neighbors barely knew the first thing about her. Hell, she barely knows the first thing about herself. Her recollection of her life in Yulmore is patchy at best. But she seems convinced that she'll regain her memory if she accompanies us, and so she invited herself to join our merry band, and for her first act, she ordered me to carry her luggage. You insist on standing around talking. Might I suggest finding a place to sit down first? My feet are killing me. And perhaps you should have chosen more sensible footwear. Still, it's not such a bad idea, shall we? So you don't remember anything at all? Not attacking us, not falling unconscious? Such selective amnesia would rightly raise suspicion within those of a cautious mind. Yet if she doth speak the truth, it would lend credence to my current hypothesis, though admittedly some further. Not now, Urianger, she's only just woken up. We don't want to bore her back to sleep. In any case, I prefer to follow my instincts, and they're telling me that Gaia means us no harm. After much deliberation, I thought it only right to let her know about our work in the empty. It's a sign of goodwill. After all, trust works both ways. So I would ask you not to let your guard down just yet. So you're the one I'm supposed to have fought. Come to think of it, I recognize you from somewhere. Maybe I just have one of those faces. So you should, considering you tried to kill me. Or perhaps you just didn't make much of an impression, but to be honest, I do feel that since meeting you, those hazy memories are becoming slightly clearer. It's like remembering fragments of a dream, only to realize those things actually happened. It's as though my whole life has been leading to this. Thou speakest as though thou did expect these events. I guess you could say that. It's what the fairy tells me. I can't see it, but it's as though there's someone else inside me and I can hear its voice in my head. It whispers to me and lets me use its power. Magic, I suppose you could call it. Not that I know much about that sort of thing. This power alloweth thee to tear open the fabric betwixt realities, that thou mayest call forth the ether starved denizens of what remaineth of 13th. What? Was that supposed to mean something, or are you just spouting random words at me? That's how I feel sometimes, too. Honestly, I don't know how you all put up with this. I've only just met him and his insufferable prattle is already giving me a headache. Gods, I still can't believe I'm having this conversation, and to think that I was flying about in a suit of armor waving a sword. That doesn't sound like me at all. Someone else was inside you. Okay? Someone else inside you. Like Minfilia was inside me. Aye, the similarities cannot be ignored, though it is too early to say with certainty. Gaia may well be the Oracle of Darkness. The Oracle of Darkness? What does this mean? It means that you may have been right when you said she has something in common with him itself. Those who have been used as a living host by an Ascian have no recollection of events that occurred during their possession. This I know from personal experience. But Gaia seems to have some memories still, even if they're a little hazy. Moreover, she has remained in control of herself even when she heard the voice within, much like you and Minfilia. And though Rene was very much her own person, Minfilia's presence did exert a change upon her outward appearance, granting her hair and eyes a hue akin to that of our dear departed friend. It is therefore not unthinkable that Gaia's raven locks may be a manifestation of the darkness which hath come to reside within her. But I was born like this, and my parents, they both had black hair too. Or at least I think they did. It's been so long since I saw them, I can't remember too well. But enough about me. You're Minfilia, aren't you? The Oracle of Light, who they were hosting in Yulmore? That's right. Though imprisoning is a better word, they kept me locked away, and I didn't know much about Yulmore and its people, or the rest of the world for that matter. I see, and how exactly did the Oracle of Light come to run with the Warrior of Darkness? Well, it all started when... Yes, I still remember the day everyone went raving mad and Lord Valtteri fled. Everything after that is still a blur, though. From what Gaia's told me, she wasn't part of the mob that attacked us, but how was she able to resist Valtteri's control? Mayhap 'twas the intervention of this fairy of whom she speaketh. As curious as that may be, we still don't know why she appeared out of nowhere as soon as Eden took flight. This is just a guess, but I'd say that the fairy reacted to it in some way and for whatever reason made me go after it. Yes, it seems like the only explanation. I don't know about you lot, but I've had enough nattering. I'm going back to Eden. What? But why? The fairy wanted something from Eden, and knowing what that is will bring me a step closer to discovering exactly what has been living in my head all these years. Besides, my memories aren't going to restore themselves, and certainly not through idle chit-chat, so I'm going, and that's that. Gaia, wait. Insufferable, utterly insufferable, and yet we can't, well, leave her to her own devices. Come on. All right, well, I'm ready to start fighting stuff. Story's all nice and good and everything, but I'm gonna be so rusty. I haven't really played in a couple of weeks. And I'm gonna pick Red Mage to start. I must be an idiot. Oh, I am an idiot, so. Get away from me. Gaia. Seems I've no choice. Just seemed to make it angry. Oh, there we go. Bit of a delayed reaction. Was a dot. What am I? He's a witch. What are you all gawping at? I don't mean to stare, but it's not every day I see magic like that, so this is the power of the fairy you spoke of. Ever since I was a child, it has whispered to me, telling me what to do. That's how I came to use its power. But there are things I can't even explain, holes ripped in the thin air, terrifying creatures crawling out, ghastly-looking blades and armor appearing out of nowhere, but worst of all, it is the dark energy that comes from inside. This power, it feels as though it's only flowing through me and never truly mine, and even when it answers my call, I always take a few moments for the spells to work. So in summer, you don't have control over the magic. Well, it's not as if I ever tried to control it. I haven't made a habit of fighting wild beasts. Unfortunately, it's part and parcel of traveling through Amarang, and while I understand that you want answers, you're not going to find them unprepared as you are, but if your heart is set on this, then we'll help you. Rene, think about what you're saying. You're seriously considering taking Gaia to see Eden? There's no telling what might happen if she loses control again, so the safest option is for her to stay away until our work is done. Somewhere we can keep an eye on her. You must realize it's for her own good. I must concur with Thancred's assessment. At present, we know precious little of Gaia's origin and less still of her powers. She is indeed the Oracle of Darkness. Her presence may complicate a task already fraught with peril, placing our mission and her own well-being in jeopardy. In full knowledge of the risk, does Zal still wish to pursue this course? We can handle this. We can take her along. I do. It wasn't so long ago that I was living in isolation, being held against my will. Maybe the people keeping an eye on me thought that was for my own good, too. But if we shut Gaia away for our own convenience, we're no better than Vothri and Ranjit. I've learned that when someone is in need, we must reach out a helping hand, not push them away. Now it's my turn to do for Gaia what you've all done for me. Even knowing the danger that lies ahead, I won't choose the easy way out. This is the path I've chosen. Is that good enough for you? Well, can't say fairer than that. How about you, Urianger? The light of thy spirit doth burn bright. Mine apologies, my dear, but we felt it necessary to test thy resolve. Let it suffice to say thou hast left no room for doubt. For what it's worth, Rene, I never doubted you, but make no mistake, the danger that Urianger and I spoke of is all too real. If you're prepared to go through with this, we'll be right there beside you. That means a lot to me, thank you. I couldn't care less who I travel with, but if we're going to go, then let's go going already. There's supposed to be some sort of craft waiting at the southern watchtower. Yes, come along then and don't fall behind. To the empty. Remember that sightseeing log spot. Might be a bit of a tight squeeze with the 5 of us, but we'll manage. Perhaps Urianger can sit on top of our luggage. Depart for the empty? Yes. So there it is. Way with the ferry, level 80, complete. Eden, where I'll find the answers I seek. The bringer of the flood, the first sin eater. Would it lead me to my past or my future? What awaited on the path ahead, I couldn't say, but I had no choice but to take the first step. Level 80, Blood and Thunder. Gaia is lost in thought as she gazes towards the silent giant on the horizon. I know what it's like. It was the same for me. But I was lucky because Thancred freed me from Yulmore and I had a chance to see the world. More importantly, though, I met all kinds of people and they taught me not to live in another shadow, but to be myself. Maybe one day you'll have that chance too. Said your piece, have you? Aye. One day? What's that supposed to mean? I don't know how the great Oracle of Light sees such things. But for someone like me who's only known life in Yulmore, there was no tomorrow, there was no future, only the here and now. While we waste time on these meaningless conversations, I feel each moment of my life slipping away. Time, it won't wait. Not for me, not for anyone. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to who I am. I'm sorry, Gaia. Gaia? That's probably not even my real name. It isn't? When Thancred asked me my name, I couldn't remember. That's when the fairy whispered to me, Gaia. But you grew up in Yulmore. Surely someone there must know who you are. Everyone I once knew had either disappeared or had been turned into sin eaters, those whose faces and names I still remember, that is. In the end, we found not a single person who so much as recognized me. She's the sin eater. As far as I can recall, I've never been the most sociable person, but still. Well, even if it's not your real name, I think Gaia sounds lovely. If you're happy with it, then that's what I'll call you. If you're willing, instead of the Oracle of Light, please call me Renee. It's not the name I was born with, that's long forgotten now, but the one the people whom I consider family gave to me. Is that so? As much as I'd love to keep up this chatting, there's something that's bothering me. I thought the fairy would have reacted to Eden in some way, but so far, nothing whatsoever. From what I gather, it wasn't until Eden started moving that I appeared out of the blue. Perhaps if you were to actually try flying it somewhere, the fairy might break its silence. If you've got elements to restore or whatever it was, why don't you hurry up and get it over with? At once, your ladyship, then you need to learn some manners. It may be best to resign ourselves to our mannerisms. A good thing we're not wholly unfamiliar with attending nobility given certain company in the Scions. Of whomsoever dost thou speak, I wonder? Alright everyone, I think we've talked for long enough. If you're ready, let's make our way to Eden. Quest accepted. Seed to Eden's core, yes. Following the initial changes wrought by the release of water and earth, the empty hath displayed no further signs of alteration. Stability, some may call this and be satisfied, but in truth it is passivity, a passivity stemming from light's ever-pervasive presence. If we are able to break the status quo, we must needs employ a catalyst, a third element that shall arouse and stabilize those unleashed energies in activity. Therefore I propose lightning. So the primal would be Ramu? Yes, from what I've heard, he's a guardian of the forest, not particularly keen on conflict, but you've actually fought him, haven't you? He's half man, half beard, and another half beard for good measure. Spent most of the time chasing after orbs with varying degrees of success. I did tank that one first, so yeah, you do spend a lot of time on the orbs. Yes, Thancred mentioned that he more closely resembled a person than a beast, unlike most other primals, and apparently he tends not to move about much. I'm glad to see our lessons have paid off. But it's like you say, if we want to call forth an accurate representation of the primal, I should picture it in my mind as clearly as possible. At the very least, it's worth a try, but the rest is up to Zilly. In order for this to work, we need to actually fly somewhere, yes? So rather than sitting in one spot while you exchange anecdotes, why don't you get this blasted thing moving first? One must admit the suggestion is not without merit. Renee, might I suggest the Gandalf Thunder Plains as our next location? These plains, it is writ, were perpetually blanketed in storm clouds. The only source of illumination, the ceaseless barrage of lightning. The ambient ether that lingereth there shall provide ideal conditions for the summoning. And that's where we're heading. Come on, Eden. We've got a job to do. This should be as good a spot as any. All right, Zilly, whenever you're ready. Think of beards. Memories of Ramu flash through your mind. Eden's Verse, Fulmination, now accessible. Duty Finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Alright, finally we get to fight some stuff. Level 80, Eden's Verse Fulmination. Although Gaia, the girl who had previously launched an attack on Eden, has finally awoken, her amnesia prevents you from learning much of her origins. For the time being, the best course of action appears to be continuing with efforts to restore balance to the ambient ether of the empty. The next element is lightning, which once ravaged the Ganondorf... I want to say Ganondorf. The Gandalf Thunder Plains in time before the flood of light. The memories of Ramu give corporeal form to the crackling ethereal energies drawn forth. All right. All right, yay. Eden's Verse Fulmination. So this is going to be Ramu-like. Let's check it out. Orant, Eden's Verse Fulmination.
There's no turning back. Get ready!
Erator of Levin, Ramu.
So, this is Ramu.
I've seen that as a mount before. I don't have it, but yeah, we have no idea what we're doing, so. Supposed to go around these, yes? Everybody's over here. Thing's supposed to soak them up. I don't think I've played Red Mage at this high a level yet. Oh, something got us. Okay. Pick up orbs and protects you from the raid wides. Okay. I don't know how many we're supposed to get. They say no more than 3 is what the healer's helping. I'm doing the best I can. Not sure if I'm doing it right. Can't get a spell off. I think I'm doing pretty well for my first time. So far, so good. Now, every time I say that, we end up dying. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Maybe we should grab another one. Keep forgetting I have cure. I'm gonna res that healer. Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, and it knocked me off. Yeah, every time I think I'm doing well, then it knocks me off. Yeah, we lost a few. What are we at? 5%? Let's get the healer up. I didn't even see the things on the side. I should have noticed them because they have been there before. So that's on me. I mean, I had a little bit of health left before it knocked me off. Oh, it did it again. I survived. I survived through it anyways. Straight into the cutscene. Okay. That's fine. I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. Yeah, we died twice. Once right at the very end. That was bad. Kind of loot. Oh, we change these in for stuff, don't we? I don't know if any of this stuff's worth getting, but it's gonna take up space in my inventory. All right. Oh, that was fun. I thought I was prepared to expect anything, but I didn't expect Ramu to turn out quite like that. Appearance aside, he was quite aggressive as well. The Sylph's belief in him was as a kindly guardian clearly makes a difference to his temperament. Anyway, I'm just glad it's over. Let's get back to the camp and see if anything's changed. Blood and Thunder. I don't think I have any battle points. I'm not going to use any of it anyways. Well, I should have known the thing was coming from the side. I'd seen it earlier in the fight. I think it hit me once. The crystal's a different color, but apart from that, it all looks the same. It may look the same eye, but it feels different. The air has grown slightly more humid, as it does before rain. I have to say, I'm not exactly prepared for wet weather. If Eden can control elements and so on, can you tell it to send those clouds somewhere else? Speaking of which, I'm not very impressed with its so-called powers. If changing yellow crystals to purple is the extent of its abilities, it's no surprise the fairy didn't bother showing up. I hope that whatever's next is more worthwhile. Rather than influence the ground beneath our feet, Eden hath brought change to the firmament above. And yet 'tis clear that a more dynamic element is required for the natural cycle of precipitation and evaporation to be complete. So we need movement. Would wind do the trick? Most certainly. Seems we have a plan. Let's not dwell too much on the effects of each individual element and instead focus on seeing them all restored. Yeah, sounds about right. The power of an oracle, not to be sniffed at, it seems. All my life you were a constant companion, your voice ever seeping into my mind. Why then of all times did you abandon me? Deaf even to the crashing of thunder, or were you simply biding your time? Level 80, into the firestorm. Urianje's knitted brow almost certainly spells trouble, namely for you. Ere we set out once more, might I ask if thou art familiar with the process by which rain is made to fall? I suppose so. It's an Allegan conspiracy. Well, we're clicking on that one. It certainly would not be beyond the Allegans to manipulate the weather, if such is thy suggestion, but it is of naturally occurring phenomenon that I would speak. With the restoration of our first element, the empty was once more blessed with the most essential ingredient in the cycle of precipitation, water. Under normal circumstances, the heat existent in the atmosphere would cause water to evaporate from the land's surface. As invisible vapor, it is borne by the wind high into the firmament, where it doth condense as clouds before descending once more, returning to the land in the form of rain. Seems we need wind-aspected ether to create more clouds. That it hasn't rained yet must mean there aren't enough. And even before that, we need fire-aspected ether to make the water evaporate. Seems to me that one's not much good without the other. Why don't you just draw out both elements together? If you're suggesting that Zilly fight two deiform entities, each one as deadly as Ramu at the same time, do you realize how absurd that is? And yet, 'tis a notion that doth warrant further consideration. Oh, you can't be serious. Cast your minds, if you will, to the elemental wheel. I did show to you in the bookman's shelves. Oh, I saw it a lot during Eureka. Wind giveth rise to lightning, whose spark doth produce fire. By restoring both wind and fire in tandem, we may maintain balance between these dynamic elemental forces. The ensuing battle shall indubitably present an ordeal unlike Zilly hath ever faced. I believe, however, that this path doth lead to a prize we seek. Oh, so perhaps it's not so absurd after all, eh, Thancred? I wouldn't dream of questioning Urianje's grasp of the science behind it. My concern is for the burden this would place not only on Zilly, but Rene as well. What do you both make of the plan? Let's do it. If Urianje thinks it'll work, I'm willing to give it a try. As long as you know what you're letting yourselves in for, you're going to need all your strength, so see that you get plenty of rest. Gaia. Seems Rene is reluctant to air her concerns. Were you to rally her spirit, she may become more willing to talk. Yes, you're right. There's no use in trying to pilot Eden while I've got other things on my mind. About Gaia, you see. Truth is that apart from Alizé and Alphanaut, I hardly know anyone my own age. I thought that I should make an effort to be nice to Gaia, but, well, you've seen how she is around me. Are they supposed to be the same age? I understand that she's got her own problems to deal with, but I thought that maybe I could help her in some way. Not my place to intrude, and I should probably just leave her be until we finish restoring the elements. After all, that's more important, isn't it? Yeah, stop overthinking things. Let me talk to Gaia while you concentrate on the task at hand. Is what I would have said once upon a time. Seems to me that you're the one best qualified to take care of this little problem. I know she can be a bit prickly, to put it mildly, but if anyone can get through to her, it's you. Although we've only known her for a short while, we're all she's got, and I think she realizes that. Just let her know she's not alone, and she'll come around eventually. Alright, I'll give it a try. Do you have any advice? Thancred certainly has the gift of gab. He'll know what to say. Urianger can talk the hind legs off of Behemoth. Why not ask him? That's certainly the worst advice you could give somebody. Though I am proficient in many tongues, such as Fey, I cannot claim to be as well versed in the parlance of the younger generation. Their predilections and inclinations are a mystery I have yet to unravel. Say it again, old man. I don't know how much about it either, but I believe I have a plan. Before she even woke up, I've been asking Lena about what's popular in the Crystarium. I thought it might be nice to show Gaia around the place one day, you see? So that's what you were doing. I suppose it makes for a nice change of pace from all that studying. I must commend thee on that choice of confidant. The captain's powers of observation maketh her a veritable font of wisdom concerning the behavior of the Crystarium's citizenry. Yes, and now it's time to put that knowledge to good use. Don't let the fear of rejection hold you back. Persistence is the key. Speaking from experience by any chance? That's cold. Yeah. Well, whatever do you mean? Lessons learned from the days spent in pursuit of ladies fair, one might suspect. You couldn't help yourself, could you? It's all right, Thancred. Your secret's safe with me. Ahem. May I remind you that the reason we're here is to create a better future for everyone in the First, which includes you and Gaia. While it might not be on the same scale as bringing life back to the empty, if you're able to befriend her, that will be another way of contributing to a brighter tomorrow. So go on, she's waiting for you. Alright, wish me luck. Rene is ready to approach a decidedly unapproachable guy. You had best observe the conversation from within earshot. Oh, it's right here. That's earshot? I'm just doing squats. What do you want? Oh, nothing really. It can wait till later. For all we know, there might not even be a later. You've got something to say? Hurry up and spit it out. Is everything all right? Not feeling strange from being around Eden or anything? Is that what you came here to talk about? Actually, I wanted to ask you. You be my friend. Would you like to go and have coffee biscuits with me? What? Coffee biscuits. They serve them at the second serving in the Crystarium. Everyone's talking about them, so I thought that maybe once we finished our work here, you and I could go there together. Let me get this straight. You came to talk to me about biscuits? Yes, they're light and crispy, and when you dip them in coffee, they go all nice and squidgy. The only reason you're even interested in that in the first place is because everyone else is doing it. Can't you think for yourself? I do what I want when I want. After all, the world could end at any moment. That's not going to happen. No, not if I've got anything to do with it. We've already saved the world. Listen, guy, I understand that you're going through. Believe me, I do. But you mustn't lose hope. A new day will come, then another, and another. Life's not so bad if you give it a chance. You'll see. Shut up. You think you know me? Even I don't know who I am. Till I find the truth, I'll never be free. Then we'll find it together. Seen enough pain, enough loss, and I don't want to see any more. And that includes you, Gaia. Why do you care so much about other people? What have they ever done for you? I'm sure you haven't forgotten how we Yulmorans treated you, the precious oracle of light, like a bird in a cage. Yet you act as if none of that ever happened. So forgiving, so selfless. You and your family brought back the night sky, and you finally had the chance to lead a normal life, but instead you're flying around in a giant sin-eater, trying to turn a barren wasteland into some sort of paradise, and for what? I may not remember much of my past, but I'm fairly certain I've never heard of anything so ridiculous. Out of morbid curiosity, I'll see it through to the end, but if you think that makes us friends, you are very much mistaken. Oh, she's just so sweet. Gaia got a lot on her mind. I surmised that to keep Gaia waiting over long would only agitate her further. So it's like a combination of Ifrit and Garuda is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be like Ifruta. To the core. To defeat the deiform manifestations of both wind and fire shall require every last mote of thy strength. That thou hast triumphed over such beings in previous encounters should be at the forefront of thy mind as we commence that summoning. Where are we going this time, Irianje? Place called Ashfall doth satisfy our requirements, I believe. The fables speak of travelers sweltering beneath the blazing heat of the midday sun, while after nightfall slicing winds did tear at their cloaks. I see. Hopefully it won't be quite that bad when I draw out the elements. Rene, my dear, may I remind thee that to focus is not the same as to deny other thoughts. Whatsoever it is that troubleth thee, thou wouldst be better for acknowledging it. Yes, you're right, of course. It's Gaia that I'm worried about. That as well. May thy concern for her lend thee yet more strength. It's time. I'll begin drawing out wind and fire in equal measure. We only get one chance at this, so let's make it count. Memories of Garuda and Ifrit rage through your mind. Ifruta. Eden's Verse, Furor, now accessible. Duty Finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Furor. Level 80, Eden's Verse, Furor. According to Irianje, the elements of fire and wind must be restored simultaneously to successfully complete the cycle of rainfall and evaporation. Unfortunately for you, this equates to facing the combined might of a pair of raging primals. Images of the ferocious Ifrit and the maniacal Garuda are made flesh, and you steel yourself for battle. So is it going to be like one combined into two, or is it going to be two? Level 80, Eden's Verse, Furor. Commits.
It worked! Both wind and fire have answered the call! Reed, are you alright?
Heritors of Fury, Garuda and Ifrit. Are they going to take turns? am I supposed to know where those are going? I assume we're supposed to be out of that, right? My rotation's all messed up. What's to do with this? I have no idea what I was supposed to do with that. Some kind of tether. He just targeted us, the red mages. Yeah, I mean, I had some weird tethers on me. I just didn't know what to do with them. You normally kind of spread out for that sort of thing. Yeah, see, they have them this time. I got hit by that? How am I supposed to know which one's gonna go first? Does he kick it? Ooh, keep getting hit. I'm confused by like how to know what goes where at what point. Yeah, this is a raid wide, almost certainly, right? Woo. Woo. Oh, they did combine. Okay, so I wasn't completely off base by asking. The hell? How am I supposed to? I don't know how to tell what direction that's coming from. I guess I'm not paying enough attention to it. I mean, because like I'm standing next to people, so I don't know why I keep getting caught with it. Almost out of MP. We're supposed to be in this. All right. I'm about done with this one. It's fine. I just seems to be going on forever. All right. Yeah, no, it was all right. There were some mechanics I just didn't like. I saw them. I knew they were. I just didn't know which direction they would seem to be going in. So I don't know. I just have to look at it more. I'd probably see it again on a replay and be like, oh, well, that's obvious. These things happen sometimes when you do them blind. Don't know if I'm going to do anything with any of these. All right. That was incredible. I never imagined they would fuse together like that, but you took them down all the same. I suppose the main thing is that we're now 2 elements closer to restoring the ether of the empty. Let's go and see what difference it's made. Into the firestorm. Complete. It actually worked, just like Urianger said it would. Everything we could have hoped for. Indeed, our endeavors have been repaid manifold. I wonder what will happen when we restore ice. That could be next, Shiva. Then we would still have like light and dark, huh? No, it's not light and dark. Is something the matter? One more element and then what? You'll have achieved the impossible while I'll still be nothing. No memory, no past, no family, nothing. The world has moved on and left me behind. Anyone who ever knew me is either dead or gone. So, Almighty Eden, can you mend this broken world, but you can't restore one girl's memories? Give me my life back, damn you. I still hunger. Ah. Extinguish the accursed light. Awaken our true power. Enough riddles. Tell me who I am. You are. I am. Gaia. Gaia? Gaia, what's wrong? Reclaim your memories, fulfill your destiny. Search your feelings. I don't understand. Gaia, can you hear me? Get away from me. Amidst the sound of falling rain, your voice called from within. Long after the rain passed, your voice echoed on.